Michael Jordan is not only the best basketball player, but he's the most exciting basketball player to ever play.
Tatum fires away, pumps it in, 51 for Jason Tatum.
The Big Three NBA podcast is powered by PrizePicks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Big Three NBA podcast. This is host Sherrod Blakely, and I'm joined by the one, the only Duane Rankin, Phoenix Suns insider for the Arizona Republic. What's going on, Duane?
What's good with you?
It's been a minute since we had you on the Big Three NBA podcast. How you been?
I'm all right. Here in Salt Lake City, it's not cold, but I'm acting like it is. So, yeah.
But
it's all good.
Phoenix Suns, and you got to go to Salt Lake City, you're going to be cold. But I'm happy to see that you are, as always, repping the cap.
Right.
For those who sell caps, y'all need to sign this man up. I think I've known you for several years, and I think I've only seen you maybe twice without a cap on.
Right.
So clearly that's your thing. That's your stilo.
Right. I'll take on all offers.
Exactly. And apparently that team that you cover in the Phoenix Suns, they taking on all comers. They look like a very different team than the one that we saw a season ago that you sort of kind of think could be kind of nice, but they never really got to that kind of nice portion of the season.
Right.
Off to a great start. They're near the top of the standings in the Western Conference. What's been the key to this team playing so well right out the gates this year?
I think the one thing, Kevin Durant, he's obviously now he's out with an injury, but that first 9 games, he was, as Jason Kidd said at the end of the game, he was a bucket. Like he was just pretty much just taking over at the end of the game, sharing the ball. They're as you know, Budenholzer likes to shoot the three. They're averaging like over 40 right now. They didn't do that last year, so they're getting up more threes. I can pick on the rotation a little bit because it's been just kind of odd because he's playing a lot of guys. But that speaks to the depth they believe they have on the team. But to me, I just sense that down the stretch in the clutch, fourth quarter, they were the worst in the NBA. They're not the worst anymore now. Like they're actually getting good looks in the fourth quarter. They're actually getting stops. They're 5-0 in games decided about 4 points or less. So they're closing games better. Now, this last one, they actually could have won at the end in Sacramento, but Booker missed a three. And he hits that shot. It's another one. It's another close win at the end. So they're winning the close games at the end. And that's the biggest difference. Down the stretch, they're just playing better. And it's not as rigid offensively as they were with Vogel. Not saying that they were just like robots, but, this team, a little more fluidity. Tyus Jones has been huge. He's been huge for them as far as setting up the offense and hitting open shot. Devin said, he said at the media day, he said, you can't leave Tyus Jones open. He went 6 for 10 from 3 last night. So it's a collective deal. And I think the biggest thing, they're closing games better.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Tyus Jones because I think he is one, maybe the most underrated, underappreciated addition by any team in the offseason because that is a guy that – when you look at this Phoenix Suns squad, y'all needed a waiter, someone who could set the table, someone who could make sure everyone was taken care of, who wasn't trying to, go out there and get 25, 10, and 7. He seems to have been that guy. Has he fit in better than you thought he would, or is this pretty much what you thought the Suns would be getting with his addition?
I thought this is what they would be getting, but the most interesting part about this is, Sherrod, is that, like, when he comes out, then it's back to point book again. Like Devin, the last couple games, he's had 12 assists. Like he had 0 turnovers against Dallas. I think he had just 2 last night. So Budenholzer's figuring out this mix. Okay, I'm playing Tyus. I'm going to take him out. I'm letting Devin handle it for a minute. I'm going to let Kevin handle it for a minute. But there's not that continual where they have to do it all the time. And that's the big difference. When Tyus comes back in, okay, it's his ball. Okay, let him do what he does. But his ability to shoot, I knew he was he could shoot in the 40s. I think he did last year. But I'm like, he's getting wide open threes, playing with 2 of the 3 or all 3 of them at the same time. To me, that's been the kind of a surprise because he wasn't that aggressive to start. But now he's like, you know what? If the ball come to me, I'm shooting. And they need that. So the other guys don't feel like they have to take shots. And so he is definitely fit the bill for what they wanted. And he delivered in that sense. And, defensively, they target him because he's small. Mm-hmm. So he's had to battle some guys. He did the other night. So that's going to be the challenge on the other end. But offensively, he's giving him everything I thought he would give him and more.
Yeah, the top teams, they figure out, is there a kink in that team's defense? And if there is, we're going to go at it. And that's the mindset of a lot of teams that face Phoenix. But the one thing about the Suns this year, and you just touched on it a little while ago with Devin Booker, who obviously we know, especially the folks in Boston, they know he can light it up. He hit them for like a 70-piece, not that long ago. I still remember that little sort of kind of, but not really beef him and Jay Crowder had.
Jay Crowder.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the hell out of that. But the thing that Book is showing not only is the ability to, play both guard positions and be, pretty effective in that, but I thought what he did in the Olympics, he did something that I just didn't think was in his DNA. Specifically, we're talking about D. He actually D'd up. He actually looked like a solid defender out there. And that was something that we didn't see a ton of, or we haven't seen a ton of that in his career. How much has he been able to just kind of really use, his play in the Olympics as almost like a springboard into the season? Because we know there was some cats who was on that Olympics team that didn't play that we thought were going to play a little bit more than they did. And Devin Booker was one of those guys who played probably as much, if not more, than most people thought. And to his credit, he handled his business. What has he been able to, from what you can tell, has he been able to kind of utilize from maybe that Olympic experience that's maybe helping factor into him being a major contributor to the Suns in this great start they're on?
I think the biggest thing is that, being a team guy. Mm-hmm. And he's always, in that sense, he had to carry the Suns for a number of years because, quite frankly, they didn't have anything else. No offense to the other guys on the team, but he was the guy.
Right. You're right.
He didn't have much else to go with him. But team guy, I think that's been the bigger thing. Like the defense is one thing. Like, is it better? Yeah, but he's had stretches this season early where he's struggled a little bit. And part of that is communication, where sometimes you'll turn and be like, okay, I thought you were going to be there, and they're still trying to figure out what Budenholzer wants on that end. So part of it is that. Part of it is, hey, he's going up against some guys that are going at him, and so it's not always going to be your way of locking guys down every night. He's never going to be that guy.
Right.
But the bigger thing is that he's competing, and he understands this is a team deal. Like, case in point, Devin Booker is used to playing the entire first quarter. Mm. Like, he's used to playing the whole first quarter. And if he was cooking, Monty Williams, stay out there. Frank Vogel, stay out there. He's playing like 14, 15 minutes before he comes out the game. Budenholzer? No. You coming out at the 5-minute mark every game, no matter what. I don't care how you playing. I don't care what it looked like. I want you fresh at the end. Mm. I'm worried about the beginning, but I'm thinking long term, and that's something that Devin has had to adjust to. And it's been something where he's bitching it a couple of times. He's like, "Hey man, I was used to playing the whole first quarter." You're like, "Well, yeah," but then he goes, "Well, but we're winning." So it's a big point. That's why I mean the team guy thing. Like, he could easily right now be like, "Look, man, I don't know what's going on here. Like, I'm used to playing the whole first quarter. I'm struggling sometimes to get a rhythm." But he's holding on to sticking to the plan. And they're supposed to revisit the plan after 10 games. Well, they've hit 10 games. So I'm sure these next 48 hours, Devin is probably having a conversation with Budenholzer about the minutes. But as far as how he's fitting in with a team that's deeper and better and healthier with Beal, then he's able to show that he can still be that team. He can be that team guy. He doesn't have to take all the shots. Like, there's shots that he's passing up. Maybe he takes those 2 years ago. Forces. He's not forcing shots. And I think that's a big part of the team concept for him.
Yeah, in a couple of games I've seen him play, it looks as though, and you have a better feel for this than I will, but it looks like he's just maturing as a player, kind of figuring out what does he need to give the game to be successful.
Right.
And I know here in Boston, it's almost the reverse, because Jason Tatum is usually coming out at that 5-minute mark, but now Joe Mazzulla just doesn't care whether he's cooking or not. You play that whole first quarter.
Right.
And the result has been Jason Tatum has been leading the NBA in first quarter points per game pretty much the entire season. And I think coaches, it does take a minute to figure out what's the best role for your best players so that they can be the best version of themselves out there. And just looking at the Phoenix Suns, I tell you what, a healthy Bradley Beal makes a hell of a difference.
Yeah, he does.
Now, how much has his role changed with the addition of Tyus Jones and just really just the overall? Because players tell you this all the time that even when we bring the whole gang back, we are not going to be the same team from one year to the next. How has his role, Bradley Beal's role, how has that changed and revolved or been tweaked from last year where he's kind of in and out because of injuries, and now he looks to be more like that dude that we saw in Washington before they decided that we ain't gonna put nobody around you, so you gotta do everything. But he actually had marginally decent players around him, and he could be like a more all-around player. It seems like he's getting back to being that dude in Phoenix.
Yes. The big thing with Brad is he came into the season saying, "I'm gonna be a guy that takes on a defensive challenge." He literally said that. He said, "This is he said, I see this role."
The tape recorders going right. Y'all had the cameras rolling. The tape. Okay, just
cameras were rolling. He's repeated a few times. Okay. That's what he said. Now he's had to guard some guys, and it's been like, wow, like dude, like this is a handful. Like last night, Fox. Fox got it going at the end, and it was like, he's younger, quicker, much faster, but he took on the challenge. He guarded Tyrese Maxey. Maxey hit him with a 30-piece. Still guarded him, though. You know what I mean? he still hung in there and checked him. So, as best he could. And the funny thing about that is he said him and Maxey worked out together in the summer. He's like the same move Tyrese Maxey was doing in the workout. He was doing in the game. But he's taking on that challenge. Mm-hmm. And he started doing it at the end of last season, but now he's figured, okay, look, let me do that for this group. And then when it's time to go score like it was last night, he was going for it. Pulling up threes, getting to the basket. He had Sabonis on skates one time, in and out, layup. So, that showed everybody who maybe have forgotten, he can still get it. Yeah. Offensively, he can still get his points. So I think the defensive assignment has been the change in him mentally, and he's battling through injury. Not saying that he would just, but he had this elbow, he's had an ankle, he just avoided a serious knee injury in the last game and played through it. I think the biggest thing where he is finally earning the fans' respect by playing through some of this stuff. Yeah. Because last year they were like, all right, man, you're out again, you're hurt again. But this year he's like, I'm sticking this out. And, and I think that's gave him some support from fans who maybe weren't down with him last year because they were like, we're paying him all this money and he's not delivering the way they thought.
Facts. That right there, that's what we're talking about. It's not that they don't like him. It's not that they think he's a bad guy. They think like, damn, we paying you how much and you giving us this? Come on, man. We could get this from like a late first round pick or a second round pick. Give us playing in and out like this. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks and do so with as little as 4 correct picks that can get you up to 100 times your money. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks is the best way to win real money this basketball season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on PrizePicks. Just download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use the code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. The thing about Bradley Beal, though, and to your point, he cold-blooded, man. I mean, this brother get buckets. This brother knows how to get buckets.
Yes.
And it's good to see him doing some things, because the thing about Phoenix, when the decision was made to create this big three with him, KD, and Book, the rest of the league was like, damn.
Yeah.
That might be kind of lethal. I mean, you talk about basically three of like the top 8, 9, 10 scorers in the league who all can get buckets. But the one thing that we were all wondering was like, but who going to get them the rock?
Right.
Because somebody going to have to take a step back and be like, look, we all can't be in the
Right.
Somebody got to wash these plates. Somebody got to do the dishes. Somebody got to take out the trash. We can't all be, at the stove cooking. Somebody's got to be doing some other stuff. It seems like he has embraced that. And the thing that amazes me about the Phoenix team, and to your point, before this injury, Kevin Durant looked like he told Father Time, look, you stay in that corner for a minute. It ain't time for us to conversate yet.
Right.
We gonna talk, but it ain't today. What's the latest on his injury? Because he's not gonna be playing against in Utah. I think he's out for the Utah game, right?
Yeah, he's out for the next 6 games. He'll be reevaluated in a couple of weeks. It'll be the weekend of the 23rd, 24th, 22nd, something like that. They have a break between games. Right now they're in a stretch of 7 games in like 11 days.
Damn.
They got 2 back-to-backs during the stretch. Then they have a weird break, like 5 days off. They play the Knicks on the 20th, and then they don't play again until the 26th against the Lakers in the NBA Cup group phase. So they have this stretch of time, and that break they have is when Durant is due for the reevaluation.
Okay.
So basically, if he comes back and goes through and everything's good, he will play against the Lakers, which is obviously good for business with the with the league. It's good for business with the league. But as far as the injury, I talk with some people and they're like, "Look, is it super serious? No, but you want to be cautious. You don't want to just because we know what the calf injury can lead to. His history shows that it can lead to something, and he just came off of the calf injury in the Olympics. So, so you have to be. You got, when it comes to that, hey, the way he was playing, and I think the Suns' fast start. Not that that's the reason that they're doing it, but they can be more comfortable with it because they started out 8-1 with him. So now they got a little, leeway, a little bit maybe. With him not being out there, but the way he has been ending games. I mean, he's just going. I mean, what's crazy is that he thinks that him shooting more threes had led to him getting the driving lanes. Like because he's thinking, okay, they got to play me out further. Now I can up it and then go around, or I can just go because he's getting straight line drives to the rim. Last year it was like that wasn't happening. Like it felt like he had to work so hard to score. And this year, it's easy. It's looking like, catch and shoot threes. Personally, I think he needs more of those. I think that the more of those will help him not have to use the legs. But you know this as well as I do. You're a new coach. You get a Kevin Durant. You see him close games. You're like, wow, we can do that every night. You can, but you got other guys out there.
Maybe 5 or 6 years ago, every night.
Right.
Yeah. Father Time ain't going to just revoke all your playing cards. He's going to take them little by little. Take a little bit of your athleticism, a little bit of your lift, a little bit of your recovery time, and next thing you know, you a shell of the player you once was. But Kevin Durant ain't nowhere near that.
No, he's not near that. I'm just saying that I think that there's other ways to finish. You still got Booker. You still got Beal. Tyus, can set up offense. And so they still got other guys that can finish the game. You don't have to just at the end of the game give Kevin the ball. Might be, I think they need to do more of maybe Devin at the end and Kevin creating space for him, as far as, okay, Devin maybe he goes one-on-one. But one thing that after a win here, I believe it was a home win. I think it was Miami. And Devin's sitting there because Kevin closed the game. And Devin goes, that Kevin Durant is up to deal with. MF. And so I said that to Durant. He was like, He just starts shaking his head, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
Like, it's the truth. And he's averaging the same amount of points, 27. They're like it went up to 30 something, but the way he's getting them is different. And that's what has been impressive about him.
Yeah, and it goes back to what can you do to win games? What are you doing to impact winning? And he's definitely getting it done in a big way. And speaking of winning, once again, you got some teams who are looking at least we're being told that they're looking to win the Emirates NBA Cup, which where teams play on a funky looking court like we in like one of those funky European venues.
It's bad. You're right. I don't like the look either.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is, and the NBA. I give the NBA props. They're trying to they're trying to expand their base. They're trying to get more of the casuals to watch this overseas because it looks very much like those type of NBA venues. Yeah, but I think they really need like a really good team to win this thing this year. Because the Lakers won it last year, and that did not work out so well for them. In fact, to the point where they got a new coach again. And so I'm looking at like you guys will be, and you guys are in Utah. You guys are playing them right tomorrow. Yeah. How do you see this? Do players in the Suns have they even been talking about this cup?
No, I haven't heard one comment about the cup. Now, granted, has anyone asked them about it? No, which I don't know what's worse, nobody's asking them about it or them not talking about it. But Budenholzer, this will be his first one. Remember last year he didn't coach.
That's right.
So he's excited. He's like, I watched it on TV. And so that'll be something that will probably get the players' attention. Okay, he didn't do it last year. He's doing this year. So that's a good thing for them. And obviously you got guys, if you make the money and then you can share it with the guys who aren't getting paid. So there's incentive in that way. It would be a good run for them, particularly if, with Durant being out right now.
Right.
If they were able to be in position to get to the quarterfinals and him missing, a couple of these games, that would be huge for them. Yeah. It would be huge for them to do that.
I always find it interesting that when they do these type of things and there's like this big money pot out there, and I'm thinking like, wait a minute, Jason Tatum making over $300 million. Jaylen Brown over $300 million. I mean, Sam Hauser, who was like, one of the lower paid guys, he's getting like $8 million. And it's like, is this really? I mean, I understand that NBA is trying to create as many incentive-based reasons for them to take this thing seriously, but I'm sorry, y'all, money ain't going to do it. What you're talking, you're not talking about, like life-changing wealth because they already got that.
Right.
They crossed that bridge. I mean, Sam Hauser this summer, I'm speaking about him specifically because he could have easily played the game and hit free agency next summer, but he's like, nah. We're going to do this extension now. We got the lot. Listen, he's like, look, I got a baby on the way this fall. I ain't playing. Y'all show me the money.
Right.
So it doesn't surprise me that players ain't talking about it because it's like, what is there really to talk about? We're going to play them games anyway. It's not like we were playing some games that we weren't going to play.
Yeah.
But this is the thing about Phoenix, though, and I really do like what I'm seeing in them is that they just showing up to compete every game.
Yeah.
It felt like some game, and you again closer to the 9, but it just seems there were some games I watched them on TV, and it was just like they were kind of checked out by halftime. And they weren't necessarily getting blown out, but they just weren't. There wasn't no sense of urgency in their play. I mean, could you talk a little bit about that? It seems like there's more of that now than there was a year ago.
Well, in the off season, you talk with people about what happened last year, like, come on, man, like, what is it? Because it's basically the same team, I mean, they added Tyus, obviously, Mason Plumlee, who actually has been good. Monte Morris, he started out playing. He hasn't played hardly any in the last few games. So, because again, they're using Booker to play some of that point role when Tyus is out. Even when Tyus is in, he's kind of doing it a little bit. But from what I was told, it basically was like, this is no disrespect to Coach Vogel. It just felt like what I was told, they were saying that accountability wasn't held for all the guys. Mm-hmm. One guy do something, he gets nothing, not even no slap on the wrist, nothing. Next guy does something, he gets chewed out. So guys are like, yo, man, like, what is this? You know, like you treating, and everybody gets treated, in my opinion, gets treated differently. I mean, on NBA, particularly if you're the main guys. I can go back to Jim Calhoun when he told me about when he had Ben Gordon and Emeka Okafor. He said, why am I going to treat those two the same as the rest of them when they're not the same? He said, why am I going to do that? So there is part of that, but overall team vibe, it didn't set well. So that's what's part of the problem. So then now Budenholzer is coming in, and right from the jump, all the players are saying he's holding everybody accountable. Everybody. Guard your man, individual pride. If you're not guard your man, that's a problem. Share the ball, do the work. So he's holding everyone accountable. Now it's early, but guys have responded to that. Mm-hmm. And there's a pride that's kicked in at the end of games. Like, no, we're not losing this game. Mm-hmm. You know, we're going to be tougher. We're going to battle for the loose ball. We're going to battle for the offensive rebound. We're going to do the little things that's going to be able to help us win the game. Mm-hmm. And the other part of that is that they aren't going to exactly this strange new stuff at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. Okay, the same stuff they was running in the first half, they get to the fourth quarter, they're going right to that. Okay, this is what we're reading this situation. We do this on this happen. We need that when that happens. So the structure of the offense is to the point where they know exactly where each other is supposed to be at all times, which makes it easier to execute. True. If you're in a situation where it's a 1-5, 1-4, and the four guys just standing there watching Kevin Durant and Devin Booker do something, it's like, okay, that's easy to defend. Right. It's not easy to defend anymore. Like now you have to really, because when that ball is moving, when they got it moving and it's going around the horn or guys dribbling and they had Dallas one the other night. They were like, oh man, they couldn't find the ball. Like they looked up, the ball was over here. Oh, that's open. Oh, damn, that's open. That's open. Like it's like a quarterback and he's got four receivers and he's like, two are going to be open based on what they see when they come down the court and where guys spot up. They didn't have that last year. And there's a tougher, and I even asked Devin about it. Devin was like, we went through some things last year. We're not trying to do that again. So it's memory. We're not going through that stretch again where we don't finish games. We're going to be mindful of what's working. And then Budenholzer, his out of timeout plays, he's on it. Like he's coming up with stuff, and you're like, oh wow, that was wide open. Yeah, he missed it, but that was wide open shot. Right. Like so he for a guy who was viewed as a coach that get the ball to Giannis and get out the way, he's doing more with this. And so I think that's playing a role in it as well.
Yeah. I mean, Budenholzer, first of all, you're not going to find anyone who thinks that he's a bad coach. It's just that in Milwaukee, it felt as though that they were looking for something to be above and beyond what he was willing to do. And there was starting to be a little bit of decline. And sometimes it's not even about a coach being a bad coach, just being a bad fit in that particular time. Right. But the one thing about this Phoenix Suns team, and and again, I think it's really important to talk about a little bit, is that when you have all your weapons ready and available, right, you become extremely difficult to defend. It's of all the things that people talk about the Boston Celtics that they do well, defending them is the one thing, or being difficult to defend is the one thing that most teams have a lot of trouble with. Doc Rivers talked about this earlier this year when they came to Boston, and he was just like, they got 5 out, like literally almost every damn possession. They got 5 guys who can shoot the three, and we're talking about like cats who can like launch it. Tatum, Jalen, Al, Derek White, Drew Holiday. And then you go to the bench. Sam Hauser, that's literally his thing. That's why he's getting $8 million some change, because he's shooting a three. So there's a reason why they're jacking like damn near 50 a game. But when you look at this Phoenix Suns team and you look at the rest of the Western Conference, obviously the goal, especially when you look at that payroll, damn, that's some payroll, something else. There is an expectation that this team is going to be one of, if not the last team standing out west. Based on what you've seen from the Suns team, what's it going to take for them to be the last team standing out west? And do you think that they're built in a way that they can compete with and potentially dethrone the champions Boston Celtics?
Again, I just don't think they got enough to beat Boston. Size-wise, size is the problem for the Suns, if you want to look at a weakness. But just not a big team. Nurkic, he's a big guy, but they're not big in the sense up front. Like, Tyus is 6 foot, Beal is 6'3", Devin 6'5". But again, he's playing a small forward type. I mean, when they introduce starting lineups, Beal's being introduced as a forward. Like he's like they're just not big. You know what I'm saying?
And that's since high school.
Right. They're not big in that sense. Like he's having to guard bigger dudes. So it's almost like that's the issue. Like, can they hold up against bigger teams? That's why the Lakers are a problem for them, because Lakers are a big team. Like LeBron is, we'll put Kevin on LeBron. Now who's guarding Rui? Like Rui's like 6'8". Okay, that's Beal. It's like, it's a size issue. So to me, that could be what holds them up. But as far as offensively, you just named all the guys that Boston had that can shoot it. I haven't even mentioned Royce O'Neal. At one point here, before this last game, he was 20 of 38 from three.
Damn.
Like just on fire. Like, I mean, just corner threes. The Suns find the corner three about as good as anybody in the league. You look at him like, okay, like we all know that's the shot everybody want to get to. Mm-hmm. But they seem to be getting to it all the time. Right. So you've got Royce, Grayson starting to round in the shape more. So you got him, obviously Tyus, Devin, Kevin, even Nurkic. Like, now to have them shoot more than that. He started out 4 of 19. Fans ready to just jump through windows. They're like, why is this big dude shooting these threes? What did he do after that? He hit 5 straight. Like, so it's in him to be, does he have to be a high clip guy? No. But if he can just shoot in that 34, 35 range, and he's your 5th guy after shooting threes, now they've got the whole, all of it covered, just similar to Boston. And I would be remiss if I didn't say this. One of the things that the Suns have gotten that's making them unique, and again, he's not going to be a major contributor. I'm getting ready to say this guy's name. But the rookie, Ryan Dunn. Okay. This dude wants to guard everybody. He literally does not care who it is.
What you ask for, young fella. Careful what you ask for.
I hear you. Luka gave him work. DeRozan gave him work. Guys have given him work.
But he keeps coming back.
He keeps coming back. And if nothing else, when he's out there, that means that Devin, Kevin, or Brad don't have to guard that guy.
Right.
So even if it's for like a 5-minute stretch, that's 5 less minutes that you're stressing out the big three to have to guard when they do. Like when they play Boston, you'll see Dunn. He'll be on Tatum. He'll be up in his face trying to press. Tatum will hit him with the step back 3, or he'll go around him, and Ryan will be like, okay, let's do it again. They'll set a screen for Tatum. He's trying to get around it. He's rejecting the switching. He's just like, no, I'm guarding guys. Now, where he's at now is where he is. To me, he's become like the second best perimeter defender on the team next to Kevin. So where he is right now is one thing. What I'm thinking, what he's going to be in April.
Right.
In May. Is he a guy that down when it gets time and you're in a series with Minnesota and Mike Budenholzer said, you know what? Anthony Edwards, he's all yours. He's all when you go in, I want you to harass, I want you to make him work, I want you to make him do. That can be the difference in winning and losing if he is able to defend at a certain clip. And he came into with the team not being able to hit threes. He was like a horrible making threes. Man, he didn't take a lot at Virginia, but he wasn't making any either.
Right.
Summer League, he went 1 for whatever. He starts working with Kevin Durant in the offseason. He starts working with getting the work in because he's not a college kid anymore. He's a professional, and that's his job. Right. Now you leave him open. Not a good idea. He's knocking him down. So if he is able to be a guy that's in the rotation now, and they can't take him out of it. He has started the 3 games that either Beal or Durant has been out. That tells you what they think about him for him to be starting when they could be starting Royce or Grayson or somebody else. He is someone that if he is able to keep developing and getting better and better and better, come April and May, he could be a factor. Will he be the reason they win a championship? No. Will he be the reason that they win a series? No. But maybe in a game of a series, he can help you win that game. So they have a deep team to the point that Bobo has not played 1 second of basketball. Not one.
I was so wrong about that dude, man. I thought he was going to set the world on fire, man. He can't even. I mean, he can't even light a damn candle. Forget about set the world on fire. Can a brother light a candle up in this mud?
Man, Budenholzer said he's gonna help him win games, but right now he's not even playing.
I keep thinking back to what Fran Fraschilla said about young fella in Toronto being 2 years away from being 2 years away.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I hope Bo was a little bit closer than that, but damn.
Right.
Because I just thought he was gonna be really good. I thought he was gonna be really good really soon, and it's not looking that way.
I mean, again, I think the bottom line, to answer your question, because I kind of went on a tangent, but to answer your question, I think the Suns are a top 4 team. I think Denver's starting to figure it out. It's almost like Mike Malone finally got a hold of him and say, hey, look, man, I'm going to be me. Y'all don't like this? So what? I'm going to be me who I am. Y'all either, this is how this rolls. This is how I roll. And so they're playing better. OKC, huge injury with Chet.
Yeah,
I mean, that just hurts, man. Like they were playing so well, and now they're going to take a step back. Even when Hartenstein comes back, they're still going to take a step back. So the door is opening a little bit for Phoenix to get off to this start.
Summertime is winding down, but the college football season will be in full swing before you know it. There's no better way to get your college football fix than Gametime, which is where you can find the best deals on college football game tickets, concerts, NFL, WNBA, and so much more. Gametime has a new feature called Gametime Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Gametime Picks filters out the fluff, so show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The one college football game I'm looking forward to seeing this year is when my alma mater, Syracuse University, comes to my neck of the woods and takes on the Boston College Eagles. There's a great selection of seats starting as low as, get this, folks, $3. That's right. $3 can get you in the building. Having the map of the stadium along with the different color-coded prices makes it super easy to find the best seats for your budget and not have to scramble all over the place on your app to do so. And you're covered by Gametime's lowest price guarantee, where Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What time is it? Game time.
I ask you because you saw him play Golden State. For real or no?
No.
Okay.
I think they're good. I think they're a playoff team. But when you say good, I think of, is this a team that I think the way they're constructed are good enough to get to the conference finals or NBA finals? And the answer to your question is no. Okay. I think Phoenix is better than them. I would take Golden State. I would take Denver over them. I would take Minnesota over them. They to me, best case scenario is for them to wind up being like 5th or 6th in the West. I think there are a handful of teams that in a best of 7 would beat them, because the problem for them, I think, right now is they're relying on so many guys to play that we know that once you get to the playoffs, that rotation shrinks. Are the guys who now all of a sudden being asked to play larger roles going to be able to maintain those roles, or will Kerr try to roll this thing out and just play 10, 11 guys all season long, which we know damn well that's what you do when you don't have a really good team and you're trying to get to the playoffs. I saw Brad Stevens do it. I saw it happen when I was in Detroit. And those teams, they were like, look, if we could just get to the playoffs, we got to play 11 and 12 guys just to get to the damn playoffs. Golden State seems to be pulling out that
the trending in that direction, huh?
Yeah, but they're dangerous, and they obviously, they gave the Celtics trouble for sure. But if we're talking a best of 7, I feel really good if I'm playing Golden State, if that's what I got to see in the first round.
Okay.
Now, beyond them, you touched on with Chet and OKC. That's tough, man, because that's the team that I thought was coming out of the West this year. And if he's not able to go this year, you're right, man. I mean, you can see at least 3 or 4 other teams easily slipping in there and being that team to beat. And the way Phoenix is playing, especially if you got cats, because look, you're talking about Dunn. Not only is it 5 minutes, you ain't got to worry about, your core guys on Tatum. That's 6 fouls, homie.
That's 6 fouls, right? Exactly. And he's using them. Using them.
That's 6 fouls that none of your core guys are going to be racking up.
Right.
So to me, it's like, yeah, we'll play this dude. Hell yeah. And if he's like getting physical and frustrating Tatum and Jalen and making them look at the refs like, refs, call this fool. He all
right. Who is right? Right.
Because if he's thinking about getting you off of him, that means he ain't thinking about dropping his 28-foot in your face.
Right.
That means he ain't thinking about beating you off the dribble and dunking on your 6'6" center or whoever you got.
Right.
Because Tatum, I do think when they play Phoenix, Tatum, he's going to dunk on Bradley Beal at some point. And that's his boy. They love each other. That's
St. Louis. They're from the Lou, right? Yeah.
I mean, but Tatum, he's not talking about it, but Tatum got a little list. He got a list. And especially after the Olympics, he still feel he's
still in his feelings about that.
Listen, he won't talk about it until he's asked about it, and even when he tries to say that I'm not really thinking about that, he all of a sudden starts talking about it. So you realize real quick he ain't completely forgotten about it. He still got a little bit. Yeah, he's still a little salty about that. She's still
Jason. Wow.
But I tell you what, though, man, I'm really hoping that the Celtics handle their business in the East, especially considering there's only 2 teams that are playing above 500 basketball. Them in Cleveland.
It's bad, yeah.
I mean, it is looking like, look, it's a survivor in the East, yo.
Right.
It's like Cleveland and Boston have made it to the next island, and the rest of them are just like they trying to get in that boat. You got like 13 teams trying to get in a boat for like 4 or 5, and it's just like everyone got a shot. But I hope that Phoenix emerges because look. First of all, y'all should be as much as y'all team payroll is.
They should be in the finals, right. Like Yankees, Dodgers. Like, you should make it. Yeah.
And just for completely selfish reasons, I would love to spend June in Phoenix. What? Yes.
What's probably Minnesota? You don't like Minnesota?
Look, man, Minnesota's great in like July and August when I ain't got no games to cover and the beautiful weather. And I gotta do nothing but just sit back, listen to my Prince, and go to. I got a spot in Minnesota that makes great smoothies. That's literally.
No really? It's like that.
They got some of the. This one spot makes some of the best smoothies you've ever had, and that's literally all I got in Minnesota. There's look. It ain't like Atlanta.
Yeah, right.
We're gonna limit pepper wing spots that we can
Yes.
We ain't got them in Minnesota, but shout out to Minnesota, man.
I'm just asking, because I was in Minnesota for 2 games, and I thought I was going back for Game 5, and didn't happen.
No.
Right.
No.
But it may be different if they play this year.
Maybe.
Suns got a shot. I mean, don't get me wrong. I asked you to see me in a month, and you've seen me, a month into the season. About what? 3 weeks into the season? 2 weeks into the season?
Yeah.
I mean, it look good. I can't. I mean, look, they look good. I mean, and the other part of it all is like they hit on 2 of the 3 free agents with Tyus and Plumlee. They hit with those. Whereas last year, they brought in all those dudes, and half of them ain't even in the league right now.
That's what I'm saying. You had a rough summer when like half the cast you bring in ain't even in the damn league the next year.
Right.
That means 29 other teams just like, nah, we good.
Right, we good. That's what I mean. Like, so they hit on that. They hit on the draft picks.
Yeah.
They hit a far more higher percentage this offseason than they did last offseason. And to me, that's the difference in everything. Like, the core is the same, but the Tyus Jones pickup, the way Kevin's been playing, Devin figuring it out, getting other guys involved, and he can go off for 40 like he has already. Beal healthy. Nurkic. They just gonna have to just look. There's not a lot of centers in the league. It just isn't. Like so you hear people, well, they should do something. No, for what? What you gonna get in return?
Right.
I mean, you're not getting. I mean, it just hey, look, he can rebound. He's not a guy that finishes inside, but he's got a double-double the last 3 games prior to this last one. So he can produce. It's all matchup driven with Nurkic. Anthony Davis, problem. But Anthony Davis is a problem for
everyone.
Yeah. So you can live with some of that if you can offset it with Kevin Durant. And the last thing I'll leave you with is on the getting back to Durant because the way he's been playing. Obviously, we know about the leadership deal where him and Stephen A. went back and forth in their latest bout. Mm-hmm. So it's all good, it really is. Durant and I addressed leadership last year, so this is nothing new. This is just a redo of that, which is fine. But there was a situation against Dallas, and one of the things that Kevin hasn't gotten credit for is in-game leadership. Mm-hmm. He gets after dudes, and he got after Yusuf Nurkic like nobody's business against Dallas. Mm-hmm. Nurkic was complaining about a foul call, and Kevin rolled up on him. I don't want to hear that.
Right?
Like, pass the ball. What are you doing? And he smacked him on the chest. Like, come on, man, let's play.
Right.
That is an element of him that I'm seeing more and more of, like to get after guys. Now, it is something that he can, because Budenholzer said, Budenholzer basically said, Sherrod, I'm staying on him about that.
Right.
I want him to continue to do that for us because we need him to be that in this situation.
Yeah.
Like that part of him, you want to see that particularly in crunch time moments or moments like that where it's starting to go astray. And he goes, no, quit that. Get out of the ref's face. I ain't trying to hear that. I ain't trying to see that from you. Dude, get your game together. Mm-hmm. Forget what just happened. Get your game together. You just missed a play right there. What are you doing to be sitting up here arguing with the ref? Now, Granted, he got on Nurkic last year. It was quiet as kept. Yusuf would tell you after games, ask him what he said to me during the game. So he gets at Nurkic, from time to time. But in the way that he did it in his last game, the game against Dallas, and nip and tuck game. And who came through at the end of the game? Nurkic. Mm-hmm. Now, is that because Kevin Durant got on his case? Don't know. But it sure got his attention. Yeah, got his attention. Yeah, no doubt.
But part of what's happening with KD, which I absolutely can relate to, is there comes a time when you reach that what I like to call double platinum OG status, where you just say whatever the hell is on your mind, and you know that it's coming from a place of wisdom, experience, and you want to do what I do because I am better than you. And so it would be in your best interest to listen to me because I'm better than you. If it gets to the point where you keep acting up and they got to make some decision, guess who ain't gonna be moved? OG, double OG. So if you want to stay with the crew, you need to do what I say.
Right.
I like to see that about KD because he's earned the right to get in your face and say whatever the hell he wants to. He's a bad man still. So, well, look, man, this has been awesome. Hanging out with my man Duane Rankin on the Big 3 NBA podcast. Duane Rankin of the Phoenix Suns insider for the Arizona Republic.
I'm so through with you.
Award-winning, Mr. Scully himself, Huntington, Marshall University, one of the final alums of Marshall. My man. All right, folks.
I appreciate you, brother, as always. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. This is it. Another edition of the Big 3 NBA podcast. Sherrod Blakely signing out for Duane Rankin. We out. Peace, people.